So here we are. It's this video was actually taken a week ago on September 1st, 2012, Saturday, and we were celebrating our 15th wedding anniversary, and it's actually a few days later, but we celebrated it early for work-related reasons, and so we're on our way to the main place mall, actually somewhere around the 11 a.m. hour. We were planning on going to a play in Long Beach later on in the afternoon. So anniversaries is usually a time when this law enforcement community has liked to go out of their way to really bug me, and they didn't disappoint, and we'll show you why soon enough. Anyway, so here we are, we're off out and about to main place, and right off the bat we see a green Toyota Camry at the corner of Anaheim and Broadway, again approximately the 11 a.m. hour, and then we proceed to travel to the main place mall, not seeing one sighting of a police officer. We arrive at the mall at approximately 11:30 a.m. and then we leave at 12:34 p.m. approximately. And it was only until we were returning home and got to the corner of Sunkist and Ball that my wife had actually noticed a police officer off to our left-hand side. And that was at 12:54 p.m. and that'll become significant later. Wait, I didn't actually catch the video on that one, but we can definitely cross-check that. And then essentially 4 minutes later at 12:58 p.m. we arrive at the corner of Ball and Anaheim, and then making a right onto Anaheim, you can see two of our finest, and one of them was actually had a American flag, which I've always found kind of ironic that these guys are trampling on federal civil rights law and disregarding their oath and etc., and but they're more than happy to be waving the American flag while they're doing it. Okay, so it's now late afternoon, and we're on our way to the Long Beach City Theater, International City Theater in Long Beach, and from downtown Anaheim, the first sighting of a police officer was right here as we were at the corner of Broadway and Dale. Now, I had mentioned earlier that there was a significance to the other police officer at Ball and Sunkist. Well, Sunkist and Dale have significance to me because it was off of Catella and Dale that I worked at a company called Stanton Telecommunication System Services. And this was a company where we were involved in engineering law enforcement related projects, where we were designing and deploying and maintaining law enforcement related projects, not only here in Orange County, California, but in Bogota, Colombia, in cooperation with the Metropolitan Police Department of Colombia. Well, so you have this officer here on Dale, which is right off which is the street right off of where I used to work, and then the other officer on Sunkist. Well, Sunkist is significant to me because one of the founders of the company that I worked for, this aforementioned company, lives off of Sunkist in Lincoln, I believe. So Sunkist and Dale have a tie-in to my former place of employment, a place of employment involving engineering law enforcement related projects. And again, the context to remember is that we are rarely seeing any law enforcement unless it's at specific spots throughout the county. It's not a matter of me just seeing dozens of police officers all day long and then trying to read something into it. It's a matter of never seeing a police officer unless there's a specific purpose or intent. So we continue on. We made a left onto Lincoln from Dale and proceeded to travel approximately 29 minutes up to about 4:52 p.m. To the corner of Carson and Atlantic. And I think this is where we're now in the city of Long Beach, because we have the appearance of a Long Beach police officer as we make a left-hand turn onto Atlantic. You can see a coffee bean off to your right. And there is our Long Beach welcoming committee in the form of a Long Beach police officer. And so I'm on alert because, like I've said in many other videos rather, we rarely have police vehicles actually near our vehicle throughout the day. So it's kind of always a interesting scenario. So we're continuing down Atlantic, heading towards Ocean Boulevard, where the Long Beach theaters are at, and where we were heading to see a play. Again, remember, this is our 15th wedding anniversary. And we're continuing along here on Lincoln. And then there's a street called Wardley Road, I believe. Wardley Road and Atlantic. And that's where we have the interesting encounter with this police officer. So we're just going to continue rolling the tape as we're going down Atlantic there, slowly approaching Long Beach Ocean Boulevard area. Continuing on. And so here we're gonna, traffic is kind of piling up, and so we pull along to her right. She's actually a white female patrol officer, Long Beach Police Department. And it was 4:52 p.m. Notice what happens. Traffic pulls up, and she pulls immediately in front of my wife with no sirens on and just the lights on. And she's to our right. And my wife, I reconfirmed with her, she didn't realize what this police officer was going to do. This police officer did not have her sirens on. All she had was her lights on. And my wife wouldn't have noticed that she had her lights on until she had pulled up further ahead. Except she didn't just pull further ahead, she made an abrupt U-turn right in front of my wife. My wife tells me that she was kind of shocked and saw that the officer signaled to her, but this was after she's thrown her vehicle right in front of us. I mean, if you look at the video carefully, you'll see that traffic is already pulled forward. I mean, my wife, had she not been alert there, could easily have pulled right into her driver's side. So that's the Long Beach Police Department Welcome Committee, as we're on our way to see a play in celebration of our 15th wedding anniversary, and as a way of trying to have a little bit of happiness after the tragedy of our dog passing away. This is what we get. So thank you to the Long Beach Police Department. Thank you for participating in ruining my day, or attempting to ruin our day. One additional note, I think I had mentioned it, but that police officer, all along Lincoln for 29 minutes, going through the Hawaiian Gardens area, we had not seen one police vehicle. So from Broadway and Dale all the way to Carson and Atlantic, 29-30 minutes later is when we see the next police officer with the associated stunt. This also gives you a good sense of the spectacular manner in which my name and reputation has been destroyed by somebody. That I show up at another county in a city where we haven't been in a long time, and just instantly the next police force in another county just takes up the baton and harasses and intimidates. It's not the first time that we've been traveling on our way to enjoy a little special event or on a mini vacation, and then showing up at the destination city and having the police department of that destination city waiting for me right as we're arriving. Palm Springs comes to mind. So we're closing in on where we're going to be parking off of Ocean Boulevard, and we're at First and Alamitos, ready to make a turn, and we have a quick drive-by with what appears to be another Long Beach patrol vehicle. I believe it was a male Hispanic. 5:09 p.m. at First and Alamitos. So we find a parking near the International City Theater off of Ocean Boulevard, and we walk towards Pine Avenue. And on Pine Avenue and East Broadway, there's the King's Fish House. We decided to have our anniversary dinner there, and no sightings of police, so everything was calm and cool. We were actually eating our dinner in the outdoor cafe that they have there along Pine Street, at the very edge, at the corner there. And I had actually my back to the corner of Pine Street and Broadway, or Pine Avenue, and it was only like in the last few minutes of dinner that I had looked to my left as I was sitting there and noticed that there was a patrol vehicle there on the corner of Pine and Broadway, on the opposite side of the street, of course. And so a few minutes later, I really don't know how long they had been there. Thankfully, I hadn't noticed them until the last few minutes of our dinner. I don't know, they were facing my wife. They were in the field of view of my wife, rather. So she probably noticed them from the moment they had arrived. I didn't ask her how long they had been there, because I was trying to not do my best not to have the day completely ruined by these people. So anyway, we finished our dinner, and as we were walking out, they were still there, so I immediately made sure that I had my camera rolling the minute we stepped out the front door of King's Fish House. And sure enough, when these officers noticed that we were going to cross the street and head directly towards them and not just walk down Pine Avenue on the Kingfish side of the street, when they noticed we were heading towards them, they decided that they were going to leave. And so there you have them rolling off as usual, because these guys just don't like being videotaped when they're harassing people or bugging people. And for good reason. It's a civil rights violation. And I'm sure you also noticed the extra added bonus of the fire truck that crossed right in front of us as well. So this event occurred at 6:40 p.m. on Pine Avenue in East Broadway, Long Beach, California. So my wife and I, we walk all the way to the front entrance of the International City Theater, and as we're sitting there, we kind of thought it'd be nice to have a little coffee or something, but there wasn't anything nearby. And I'd noticed that there was a Starbucks, but it was all the way back where we had just been. There was a Starbucks on Pine Avenue and 3rd Street, just one block further from the King's Fish House. Anyway, my wife was a little tired, so I decided I'd go over there and get a couple of cups of coffee for us. And, as I'm volunteering, I immediately know that I'm kind of asking for it, because once these police officers notice that I've separated from my wife wherever we are, then sometimes the fun really begins. So anyway, I'm heading back towards exactly where we were at, and again, we're walking through this little community, and I don't see any other officers other than the incident we just spoke about. And then lo and behold, I'm rounding the corner of Pine and 1st Street, and there's an LA Sheriff's vehicle parked on 1st Street, and then the 2 sheriff's deputies, as you can see, are standing there at the corner, conveniently facing in the opposite direction, so I can't film their face. And then as I proceed further up, you'll notice that there's another patrol vehicle that passes by. So we have to wait a little bit here for that to occur. Now I understand that this is a busy area, and it seems to be like a restaurant row here. But I just find it a absolutely stunning coincidence that I see this volley of police officers right on Pine between Broadway and 1st, where Pine and Broadway is where we had just had our 15th wedding anniversary dinner. And there you go, you have my friends pass by there. And then we walk up a little further, and you'll see the King's Fish House, and you can see the little outdoor cafe, and we were at the table there at the very corner of the cafe. And then we'll show you, this is the intersection of Pine Avenue and Broadway, and then this was the corner, and it was right there that those other police officers had been kind of moping around, and then just happens to, by coincidence, take off right when we were leaving the restaurant and heading their way. And then got my coffee, so I got coffee cups and doing a juggling act down the street, walking down Pine again. Here I'm at 1st and Pine again. I think you'll notice quickly that same police vehicle is still there. Yep, there it is. So now I'm crossing, and hey, I'm a pedestrian, and I'm crossing the street, and boom, this particular police vehicle just pulls in front and goes on his way. I guess they don't care about the business about when a pedestrian's walking on the street. You're supposed to wait for him to complete the passage through. So anyway, like I said, it was just an amazing coincidence that I'm walking back to get some coffee, and it's a busy area, and I only see a volley of police officers and police vehicles right in the street segment where we had just had our anniversary dinner. Anyway, I got back to the International City Theater in one piece with the 2 cups of coffee. We had our coffee, entered the theater, enjoyed the play, and then we were on our way home. Oh, and by the way, this police officer's moving violation, failing to yield to a pedestrian, occurred at 7:26 p.m. First and Pine, Long Beach, California. So the play finishes up at the International City Theater, and it's approximately 10 p.m. We're on Ocean Boulevard heading towards Shoreline Drive to get onto the 710 North. And you will notice here that to your front and left, of course on the opposite side of Ocean, there's a police vehicle with siren, I believe, and at least the lights were flashing. Unfortunately, he's hidden by the bus there, so you can't see him, but it was right at the beginning of that segment. So we're rolling along, and I guess this is the Long Beach Send-Off Committee with the one vehicle that pops up with the siren. And then as we proceed further, you'll see to your right there, a fire truck. Hello to the Long Beach Fire Department. I guess I'm supposed to think twice before returning to Long Beach. Who knows? And we continue on our way here. We'll be approaching Shoreline Drive briefly. We'll kind of just want to show you that we are actually near the freeway. You can kind of see the freeway signs there. This is Shoreline Drive. And soon enough we'll be getting on to the 710 freeway northbound. Now I had spoken to the Garden Grove City Council about the fact that I had been harassed probably hundreds of times entering and exiting freeways by confidential informants. I did this in November of 2011. So it's kind of pathetic that you would see a police force, fire department participating in the same sort of nonsense. So we're continuing on, and 6 minutes later at 10:06, you'll see this flashing lights on the left-hand side, the opposite side of the freeway. I don't know if it was police or fire or a combination of the two, but we're approaching the 710-405 freeway split. And guess what? Overpass comes along immediately after that. So we're just going to wait. And just before the 405 and 710 split, this overpass right there, that overpass turns out to be Wardlow Road. The same Wardlow Road from earlier in the day with my female white police officer from the Long Beach Police Department who pulled in front of my wife in an abrupt U-turn. It's that same street. Remember we said that that had occurred in Atlantic in Wardlow? Well, this particular overpass is Wardlow. And just after Wardlow overpass is the 405 and the 710 freeways. Ain't that an incredibly amazing coincidence that the beginning of the Long Beach Welcoming Committee was at Wardlow Road, and the very last police lights that we see, police presence that we see, is exactly just before Wardlow Road overpass on the 710 freeway north. And from now until we reach the Lincoln exit off the 5 freeway for the next, let's say, 28 minutes, we proceed to see no other law enforcement on the 710 freeway or the connecting freeway or the 5 freeway. It isn't only until we reach the Lincoln exit and we're going down Lincoln that we see another police vehicle. Okay, so we've made the long haul back to Anaheim. We're heading towards Anaheim. We're making a left off the freeway onto Lincoln, and it's gonna be 10:29 when we see this police vehicle to our left, and you will notice that this police vehicle pops up right when we're in the vicinity of the Anaheim High School, the same Anaheim High School where the emergency meeting of the Anaheim City Council occurred, where I spoke. The same Anaheim High School from the videotape the other day, Sebastian's homecoming. We had the community services vehicle and the truck and the ambulance. Well, lo and behold, here in a few seconds, I believe this is probably Ohio Street. So we're continuing on down Lincoln towards Harbor, and there you're gonna see shortly there, right there, we have the presence of what I assume to be an Anaheim police. I can't really tell. To our left, and he's basically driving by that same Anaheim High School area. As a matter of fact, you'll notice here as we pass by this corner right here that we're approaching the stoplight at is actually Citron Street, so Lincoln and Citron. And then that store to your left there with all the windows, that's the Visar's Florist that we spoke about the other day in Sebastian's homecoming video, with the community services vehicle and the truck and the ambulance. So isn't that a coincidence? 20-something minutes later, and we see one final police vehicle right at the same area of commotion from the video from the other day. And at this point, we proceed to go down Lincoln, making a right on Anaheim, and then heading towards home a few minutes later. So that was our 15th wedding anniversary, complete with the Toyota Camry at the beginning, reminding me of the time I almost lost my life on the Garden Grove freeway, and then the couple of police vehicles when we were on our way to the Main Place Mall, or actually returning, positioned exactly in streets that reminded me of my former place of employment. And then as we went off to enjoy a play at the International City Theater in Long Beach, we had the Long Beach Welcoming Committee with the abrupt U-turn there, and then the send-off as we were leaving home, followed it off by the police presence just before we arrived home near the Anaheim High School Visar's Florist zone on Lincoln and Citron, as mentioned in the previous video, Sebastian's homecoming. So all sorts of incredible coincidences occurring on the 15th wedding anniversary